Why our mind wants control. Introduction. What does it mean to be in control? Think about the last time something didn't go your way. Maybe your plans got canceled, someone cut you off in traffic, or you had to deal with sudden bad news. Chances are your mind reacted strongly. Maybe you got angry, sad, or anxious. This is not just bad luck, it's how our brains are wired. Deep down, our mind wants to feel in control of what's going on. When it doesn't, it reacts with stress, worry, or fear. But why does this happen? Why do we feel so uncomfortable when we lose control? What is the brain doing behind the scenes? And is there a way to deal with this better? Let's explore all this in very simple words and go deep into the science. Chapter 1. Control is safety. At its core, the mind links control with safety. This goes back to our ancestors. Imagine living in the wild thousands of years ago. You needed to be aware of dangers, lions, snakes, weather, enemies. The more you understood your environment, the better chance you had to survive. If you could predict what might happen, you could prepare for it. That gave you power and safety. So over time, the brain evolved to like predictability. When things are predictable, we feel calm. When they're not, we feel uneasy. In other words, control, comfort. This is why people often prefer routine. Waking up, brushing your teeth, going to school or work, all in a known order, gives the brain a sense of peace. When life is predictable, your brain doesn't need to work as hard to stay alert. Chapter 2. What happens in the brain when we feel out of control? Let's break it down in simple biology. There are three main parts of the brain involved here. Amygdala. This is the part of the brain that handles fear and emotions. Prefrontal cortex. This is the thinking part. It helps with decision-making and problem-solving. Hypothalamus and HPA axis. This triggers the body's stress response. When something unexpected happens, like you lose your job or your plans get ruined, the amygdala sends out an alert. It basically says, "This is bad, we didn't see this coming." Then the hypothalamus kicks in. It activates your stress system, called the HPA axis, which sends out stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart beats faster, your muscles tighten, your mind races. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex tries to make sense of the situation. But if the fear or stress is too high, this thinking part gets overwhelmed. That's when you may act impulsively, snap at someone, or shut down. All of this happens because your brain sees losing control as a threat. Even if you're not in physical danger, the brain treats the unknown as something to be afraid of. Chapter 3. Why anxiety feeds on lack of control. Anxiety is the fear of what might happen. And when you're not in control, your brain starts imagining all kinds of what-if situations. Let's say you're waiting for an important email. If it's late, your brain may start saying, "What if I don't get the job? What if they hated my application? What if I failed?" These thoughts come because your brain doesn't have answers. And when it doesn't have control, it fills in the blanks with fear. This is why people with anxiety disorders often feel worse in uncertain situations. Their brain is trying to control every possible outcome, and that's exhausting. Anxiety also causes people to do things that seem helpful but actually make it worse, like overthinking, rechecking things like emails, doors, stoves, avoiding situations that feel unpredictable. These behaviors try to regain control, but they don't solve the real issue. Chapter 4. Control and the illusion of control. Here's something important. We don't actually control much in life, but our brain likes to think we do. This is called the illusion of control, believing we have more power over outcomes than we really do. For example, a person may carry a lucky charm during exams, thinking it helps. A manager might micromanage every small task to feel like they control the outcome. Someone may avoid flying, thinking driving is safer, even though it statistically isn't. Why do we do this? Because it helps reduce anxiety. Even if it's not logical, feeling like we're in control gives us mental comfort. So the mind clings to anything that gives it that sense of power, even if it's fake. Chapter 5. Control and identity. Control isn't just about safety, it's also about who we are. From a young age, we build a sense of self. We have goals, plans, and dreams. When things go as we expect, we feel confident. But when life goes in another direction, like losing a job, failing a test, or going through a breakup, it can shake our identity. It feels like life is happening to us, not with us. That feeling of being pushed around by the world creates frustration and sadness. This is why losing control can feel personal, like a threat to your identity or dignity. You may feel powerless, embarrassed, or like you're not good enough, even if the situation wasn't your fault. Chapter 6. Can we ever be fully in control? The short answer is no. Life is uncertain. Things happen that we can't plan for. Illness, weather, accidents, other people's choices. No matter how much we try, we can never control everything. But here's the good news. We can control how we respond. This is where mental strength comes in. While you can't stop bad things from happening, you can train your brain to stay calm and flexible in the face of change. That's real power. Chapter 7. How to handle the need for control. So what can we do when our mind demands control, but life doesn't cooperate? Here are some science-backed strategies explained in very simple terms. 1. Practice cognitive flexibility. This means training your brain to adapt when things don't go as planned. It's like building mental muscles. You can do this by trying new routines, being okay with small changes, like taking a different route to work, saying, "Let's see what happens," instead of trying to predict everything. Your brain slowly learns that change isn't always bad. 2. Focus on what you can control. You can't control other people's actions or the weather, but you can control your reactions, attitude, effort, words. Putting energy into these areas helps you feel strong without needing to dominate everything. 3. Use mindfulness and breathing. When the brain feels out of control, it moves into panic mode. Deep breathing tells your body, "It's okay, you're safe." Mindfulness helps bring your focus back to the present moment instead of worrying about the future. Even 5 minutes a day can help rewire your stress response. 4. Talk to yourself like a friend. Often when we lose control, we beat ourselves up. "Why didn't I plan better? I'm so stupid. I should have seen this coming." Instead, talk kindly to yourself. "I did my best. It's okay not to have all the answers. This is hard, but I can handle it." Self-compassion reduces the need for control by making space for uncertainty. 5. Accept uncertainty as part of life. This is the hardest but most freeing skill. Accepting that life is uncertain allows you to stop fighting it. Try saying, "I don't know how this will go, and that's okay. Even without full control, I can still live fully." Life isn't perfect, but it's real. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting yourself to deal with whatever comes. Chapter 8. When to get help. If your need for control is affecting your daily life, causing panic attacks, OCD behaviors, or social anxiety, it's okay to ask for help. Therapists can teach techniques like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, changes negative thinking patterns. Acceptance and commitment therapy helps you live with uncertainty. Exposure therapy gradually reduces fear of situations you can't control. There's no shame in needing support. Many people deal with this, and science offers real tools to get better. Conclusion. Real power comes from letting go. Wanting control is human. It's how our brains try to protect us. But sometimes, the more we try to control life, the more anxious we become. Ironically, peace comes from doing the opposite. Real strength isn't in controlling every moment. It's in trusting that you'll be okay, even when you don't have all the answers. The more we practice this mindset, the calmer and more confident we become. So the next time life feels uncertain, remember, your mind is just trying to keep you safe. Take a deep breath, focus on what you can do, and let the rest unfold. You're more capable than you think. That's it for now. Please let us know in the comments what you learned from this video. Thanks for your time. See you later.